Thank you,
Ali
ladies and gentlemen.
Al-Abaidi earlier on.
First round.
Mark Williams, of course, seeded into this round.
Mark Williams.
Just having a look there at the Riyadh season ball, the gold ball that, of course, can only be potted at the end of a maximum. Yeah, it's the head-to-head really is tight. 21 to Higgins, 20 to Williams, a couple of draws. They first played as professionals 30 years ago in the qualifiers for the 94 Thailand Open, but they'd had a big meeting before that as juniors in the World Masters at Birmingham, where O'Sullivan actually was the favourite to win, but Higgins beat him, and in the final he beat Mark Williams. And 18 months later, all three turned professional, and all three have become legends of the sport. Still at the top level. Still knocking in long reds like that. Dominic Dale, another member of the class of 92, has joined me for this one.
Yes, a very good evening, everybody, and match I'm really going to savour. Two players that these days have very similar styles of play, but of course Mark Williams, back in his heyday years, was a much quicker player, a more attacking player than he is now. On current form, maybe John Higgins just has a fractional edge, but that's only if he starts well, and he certainly has with that great long red to the right corner. He's right in here.
Well, 2 reds, 2 blacks if he pots this, Dominic.
Steady on, Dave. Well, he'll do well to get onto the black now. He's landed a little low 16. On the red. Now he can stun the cue ball off the side of the pack of reds, bring a few into play, but he's got to be careful of that centre pocket here with the cue ball. Oh, well, he really did get into the meat of 17. Them there. Now, does the black still go?
Well, it was off the jaw, but it went in. Well, it's early. 20. I mean, it really is early, but it's some sort of chance. Remember, if you make a 147 and then pop that gold ball on 25. The cushion currently, you earn $500,000. Works out about £395,000. First player to do it will get that.
Well, John has made 13 career maximums. He'll certainly be going for it. But is he on the red to the 32. Left corner? Can he see enough of it? It's going to be tight. Maybe there's an alternative to the left centre.
Still a lot of work to do. He's pushed the pink down to the other end of the table, but it's focused a lot of minds, hasn't it? Clearly it would do, this prize, this unique prize for the 167.
Well, the fact that John played that red to the left corner tells you he's gunning for this maximum 40. Break with the golden ball in addition, of course.
And it's worth saying, Dom, a week ago he wasn't in the tournament. It was a late call-up, him and Ding. So, I mean, it really would be a bonus.
41. To be ironic. Very straight on the black, but while there are still so many reds left on the table, he'll have a chance to get nicely on his next red. And that's pretty good as well.
48. 49.
Yeah, a little puff of the cheeks. He made his most recent maximum at the Championship League a few weeks ago, actually. Mark Williams, up to that point, had been the oldest to do it. Higgins took that record back off him. But this would be in another league, really.
John's finished a little low on this red, but purposely, because in potting it, he can bring others into play and get nicely on the black.
57.
Oh, I'd love to put a heart monitor on John Higgins right now. This is the 8th black coming up.
Yeah, so I've always thought with the quality of the players in the field, the best in the world, we'd get to this sort of position, you know, 8 reds, 8 blacks. The question is, how much further can he get? He's known for his cool, but of course he's not just making the 147, it's then getting on that final gold ball and then potting it for all the money.
65.
Going. Oh, has that cue ball just
72.
run far enough? Not really, but he can leave himself some sort of a shot at the black. Oh, he's cannon the red.
73.
Well, that's made things very awkward now.
Not getting much sympathy, I don't think, from Mark Williams. Not the red on the cushion. The black, not necessarily a gimme either. Smile from Higgins. What else can you do? But he's not done yet necessarily.
Well, anything but
80.
dead straight on this red, and he'll have the chance to screw back for the black, but that doesn't look good to me. He's got to avoid the middle pocket jaws here.
81.
Oh, he's managed it. The break continues. Well, one thing I can promise you is John Higgins already knows he'll be attempting a double on the last red if he gets that far.
89.
Well, we've seen many maximum attempts, but this is a completely different feeling with that extra ball and all the money that would come with it. A lot of work to do before then, that red on the cushion. He's known as a great doubler, it's got to be said, probably the best.
Yeah, absolutely. These
96.
cushions are sliding, though. Won't be easy to judge. This is exciting.
97.
Yeah, and this is the reason it's been introduced, to create this extra level of excitement. On night one, is it going to go? Is he going to scoop the jackpot?
$104.
Well, I'll be amazed if John plays for anything else but for a double from that tricky red on the side cushion.
$105.
Well, John's decided to play in behind this red, but surely this is more difficult than the double. And he'd love that cue
112.
ball to have been another centimetre off the cushion. This is really tricky now.
It's in. This next black needs some work, but it's still on. Can you believe it?
Wow, this really is quite incredible. He's purposely left himself.
Don't move, please.
Oh no, there are people walking around in
Don't
front
move,
of
don't
John's
move.
eye line. That's the last thing he needs. I was about to say he's purposely left himself low on the black because the angle's perfect to get onto the yellow. Now, John, try to keep your concentration.
Needs to slow up a bit. Oh no, he's touching it. Or is he?
120.
Can he still cut this in?
Oh dear, oh, do you know, no, I don't think he can. I just don't think it's straight enough to cut in, is it?
He's going to give it a go. Not to be. What a valiant effort.
120.
What a valiant effort it was. But no super maximum in this frame. That's the closest by far anyone's got so far. Anyway, John Higgins with 120 has won the frame. And he leads 1-0. To 1,000, that could have been something special, but just underlining right from the off how ready he was tonight. You know, it's after midnight here. In fact, it's 1:45 in the morning, but Higgins very sharp. He's had the match already today. Maybe that will be some sort of help, because he did play well in the last 2 frames there, made a century in that one as well, and 80 as well. So Mark Williams coming in cold already, knows he's got his work cut out.
Yes, just broke off in that previous frame. This is only his second shot of the evening, or the morning, from his point of view, of course. It's gone midnight in Riyadh. I'm really interested, you know, in that golden ball, because the number's 167. Now, I don't know if they're just stick-on numbers that adhered to the side of the ball, and if it were to roll down the cushion, would it roll off because of it? I don't know, but I'd love to find out.
I do think the thing about it is it doesn't encumber the rest of the play. It's up there on that bulk cushion. But once the maximum is not possible, it gets taken off, and it's just a normal frame, and we saw that in the first match. But when you do get the chance, as Higgins had there, my word, it's exciting.
I wonder if you're snookered, whether you can actually nominate it.
No.
I was kidding.
Paul Collier and Jan Verhaas quite rightly have written out special rules, so it's all written down so everybody knows the situation. All the meetings they've had, it's a different dynamic in this one, but my word, they've had some great ones. The last one was at the Masters 2 years ago, quarter-finals, and of course we were sort of coming back after COVID. The year before it had been in lockdown, and they got a great ovation when they were introduced, and then they came back out 5 each. They'd both gone to the toilet, and as they came in Alexandra Palace, they got a standing ovation from the crowd. Great recognition for 2 of our all-time great players, still, as I said at the start, at the top of the game now as they approach 50, which they'll both turn next year.
And I think that what that tells you, Dave, is because both of these guys know every shot in the book, when to play them, why to play them, and they're able to win matches when perhaps they don't score as heavily as they did maybe 20 years ago. But having said that, they're not that far away from it. Still playing some fantastic snooker.
I think they've agreed a re-rack already, so Jan Verhaas will set them up again. Just felt that that was heading nowhere. A reminder, the winner will play Ronnie O'Sullivan. We know the other 3 quarter-finals, all of which will be played tomorrow throughout the day. So we've got Luca Purcell against Ali Carter, of course, who's come through just about tonight against Ding. Mark Allen against Mark Selby. Judd Trump against Sean Murphy. And O'Sullivan plays the winner of this one. So they're all matches to savour, matches to look forward to. They'll be played tomorrow, and then the semis on Wednesday afternoon, the final best of 9 on Wednesday evening. Top prize is 250,000. This was the little exchange between them. Williams just sort of giving his views on what John should have done. Why didn't you play for the double, maybe he was saying. I think he might have been saying that because, as Dom said, you know, he's renowned as a great doubler. Anyway, that's all gone. This is frame 2.
Thank you, John. Second frame, John Higgins.
John Higgins leads 1-0 after the drama of frame 1. We've had a re-rack in frame 2, so this is take 2. Feels like Higgins, over the course of the season, has had the better form, but the difference is Mark Williams has won a tournament. British Open, it was the end of September, but he's got a trophy in the cabinet this season. Higgins yet to get his hands on one.
And I think, Dave, that's why John Higgins has sought the help of a sports psychologist, because he's been in some really advantageous positions in semi-finals and the odd final. I mean, he looks set to lift a big trophy, an important title, but has lost consecutive frames and, you know, lost deciders and things, which of course have really hurt him as well.
That's right, it's been the odd shot here and there at vital moments. Nothing more than that, really. But they've had a cumulative effect, I think, on his confidence, hence the help that you mentioned that he's looked for. But yeah, the sheer knowledge accumulated by these two over the years are both winners at a young age. And every career has peaks and troughs, and there's been times where Mark's been on a bit of a low and John as well. But when they come good, boy, do they come good. Their world final in 2018 was an absolute classic. Higgins played some of the best snooker of the tournament in the last session and still didn't win the tournament. Mark Williams held him off brilliantly with a terrific break in what proved to be the last frame.
Wager that's a touching ball.
Touching ball, yeah.
It is indeed. So chance here for Mark to try and get the cubal in behind the yellow or the brown. Worth mentioning, Mark Williams yet to pot a ball. Well, this is looking good if the speed's right. Oh, it's just run too far. John Higgins has been very lucky there. Mark Williams can't do a great deal with this. Certainly can't play the cubal into bulk. Not quite sure what he can do except just either roll up to the red he's closest to or leave the cubal in the side of the pack somewhere.
1.
Goodness, that was so
Mark
thin.
Williams.
Great pot from Mark Williams.
Be careful of that shirt close to the red. You have a housekeeping watch. Well, he didn't get too close, I think it's fair to say. Are you sure it's a miss? Yeah, he was sort of contorted while he was playing it, wasn't he?
What do you, sorry. You want to?
Because Mark Williams right in line there in his seat, so he could see exactly the line to the cushion. That's what he's saying. Higgins playing it the same way. Again, a bit of breathing in required. Better.
The red to the left of the black is possible for Mark Williams, but the problem was that the cue ball would have been cannoning into the black, which would have made the pot risky. But he won't be best pleased with that. Cue ball not finding the baulk cushion. John can attempt this red to the left corner.
So the first real good chance for Mark Williams coming up this evening. So a fast and a high quality start from Ding Junhui there. 1-3-8 the break in frame 1.
1.
British Open he won this season at the age of 48. He became the second oldest winner of a ranking event after another Welshman,
6.
Ray Reardon. He won one when he was 50. Just extraordinary longevity.
7.
Thing with Mark though, he hasn't really changed, does he, as a person from when he started out as a teenager? He's the same sort of laid back character.
12. Thank you. 13.
Just didn't want that red to come down and cannon the black. He's on a choice of both pink and black here, but neither of the pots are straightforward.
Twenty. 21.
Well, so many players would screw into the pack of reds here, but Mark perhaps is one of the old school players who like to chip away at the reds, but there are still a couple of potable ones.
28.
Useful lead here that Mark Williams was building in this second frame.
$29. $34. 35.
I don't know if Mark intended to leave himself straight on the black to play for the red below it, or whether he wanted to go into them here. Could have done with a little more angle than he left himself. And that's finished very awkwardly.
42. $43.
Well, that's classic Williams, isn't it? You know, pulling out a pot like that. And as I say, you wouldn't have thought that was a pressure ball, really. OK, he's playing the white down a little bit to safety, but he was leaving long reds on potentially, or the red that he went for. But he just got on with it and knocked it in.
46.
He's always been a good traveller as well. He's won a lot of tournaments around the world, particularly Thailand, China, those Asian ranking events going back 20 years. He always seemed to be favourite in. World Open 2018 in China, a couple of German Masters. I think he always saw travelling as a privilege, really, you know, coming from quite humble beginnings, the chance to see the world playing snooker.
53.
Just checking the scores. Blue 63, the lead. He needs another red. Chat, we've got...
Straight on the blue wouldn't be a problem. He could run through for the red, just the right of the three. Yeah, this was the problem. The angle that he was able to create from the blue wasn't advantageous, so
58.
just needs the red, and I think he needs to put all his efforts into the pot here and maybe not worry too much about good position.
Mark Williams, 58.
Well, just a little bit of pressure told there. Perhaps it was frame ball.
Well, John Higgins has a well-earned reputation for making clearances.
1.
Mark Williams will be well aware of that, and that world final, that final session, he made several, actually.
Maybe, Dave, that's why Mark Williams missed the red. He was well aware of it, and I am too. I actually make John Higgins a marginal favourite from here to win this frame. Might sound a little ridiculous to say that, with the work that lays ahead for John here, but When you're in this sort of position and you have a chance to make a winning clearance, it really does focus you.
$16. 17.
John will be looking to leave himself just off straight on the loose red of the two that remain to bring the awkward one into play. As he just overran that. Don't think the red that's close
20.
to the pink will pot.
25.
And this is the type of cannon that you do practice. Just a half ball cannon on the red. He's missed the cannon. Very surprised.
Yeah, so were several people in the audience. They were
32.
fully expecting that shot to come off, and Higgins then was favourite. But as it is, got to not leave this red on. 31 behind, 35 on. And he's not done that.
John
So
Higgins.
frame's still
32.
anyone's.
Fluked the snooker there, Mark Williams. Oh, John's played a great shot here. Pretty much exactly what he was intending to play. And he snookered Mark Williams back. Anybody's framed this. Now, can Mark get between the pink and the blue here? Asking our referee, Anver has to have a look as well. Partial swerve, maybe.
Yeah, and we'll be watching this very closely. Well, Mark Williams, he wears glasses, doesn't he, when he's not playing? He might want to put them on here. He's very delicate, this gap.
Yeah, the problem is when you play it with that right-hand side, it pushes the cue ball to the left. And I think Mark was concerned that the cue ball may have cannoned the pink, but he won't mind that now. Oh, what's going on here? 3 successive fluked snookers.
Well, he needs the cover again. And, well, he raises his hand. It's an easy game, Dom, this, isn't it?
Wow, John Higgins caught that all wrong. Was looking for a full ball cannon to leave the cue ball behind the brown. Oh, not again, surely to goodness. This is completely ridiculous.
Is the one kind of under pressure. Williams only needs the red. Having said that, everything else pots. So once again, can't afford to leave this. Well, nearly. The streak's come to an end.
Yes, it has, finally. And Mark can see enough of this red to pot it past the yellow. But there'll be a lot of pressure on this. It's frame ball for 1-all.
If there's a single ball to be potted, there's few better than Mark Williams. and he's knocked that one in, so not over the line yet necessarily, but 2 snookers required.
Mark Williams, 1.
It's just a great rivalry. It's a friendly one. These two respect each other hugely. They've grown up together. Just the knowledge and the tablecraft and the temperament as well. Capable of big breaks, capable of great safety. Jules got everything really into this round.
Mark Williams.
Just
I'm sure if John Higgins were to get the opportunity, he'd love to pot the yellow, green and the brown, because then one snooker would be enough to tie.
yeah, it's a slight swerve. But it's about controlling where they finish, and he's left the yellow, and I think he's conceded the frame. Indeed he has. So it's been a very interesting start, one way and another. The near maximum
I don't think so.
in frame 1. This frame was re-racked. There was a good old battle there. Higgins had the chance to clear, didn't get the cannon, did he? Red and pink. And anyway, Mark Williams has levelled up. In the All Legends affair, it's 1 each.
Third frame. Mark Williams to break.
Well, it's 1:15 in the morning, but these two looking pretty fresh, really. Mark Williams and John Higgins, 1 each. Williams winning that second frame. Of course, they started late. That's just what the format is here. Interestingly, that gold ball has not moved yet. John Higgins, in his earlier match, he did cannon it, but it was a double kiss. It didn't move. So it's almost like it's sort of rooted to the spot. It can move. You're not allowed to play it until, you know, you've made the maximum, but it can finish anywhere on the table if another ball cannons into it. Well, head bowed, red over the pocket.
Little lucky from Mark Williams' point of view that red finished over the pocket the way it did, but no easy position to a colour here for John Higgins by any means.
1.
That's about as good as he could do, really, but if he wants to finish on the red, he's going to have to drop this pink in very slowly.
7. Just get that comment off.
Yeah, he's got to remove that gold ball now because the maximum not possible. Onto the cushion it goes. That's a special cushion, not one of the cushions on the table.
8.
At least that's removed the sort of, you know, thinking about that. It's a normal frame now, and that's what I was saying. It doesn't get in the way. It's an extra thing, but once it's not possible, it leaves the field of play and we carry on as normal.
With those two reds just detached from the back of the pack of reds there, if John were to leave himself parallel to the pink, he could screw into the pack of reds and he's bound to finish nicely on a red. He has left himself the angle. Now, if he can find the gap between the two loose reds at the back of the pack and screw right through them, he'll probably knock the right-hand red of those two at the back of the pack towards this right corner. That's exactly what he's done, and he's played it beautifully.
Well, black not great, pink now, surrounded by reds. So the reds are good, but the big colours not so much.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dave. I wonder if it's worth trying to cannon the black here towards this left corner. Maybe he doesn't have the angle. Oh, he'd be pleased with this. That's about as good as he could have hoped for.
In terms of the 1000th century, obviously he's got this tournament. He's then got the winners group of Championship League, which is it's only 2 days, but you quite often see heavy scoring in that because you play a lot of matches. Potential for 8 matches there, best of 5s, and then off to Yushan, I should say, in China for the World Open, Tour Championship and World Championship. So it'll be at one of those. Obviously, depending on how he fares in each event. It would be nice in a way to see him do it at the Crucible, but having said that, John Higgins is the sort of character, he kind of doesn't like a fuss. In a way, he wouldn't mind maybe getting it out of the way somewhere else. But it'll be a landmark moment for him when it happens, and it will happen soon.
Well, that's worked out beautifully. For John Higgins, he's just pushed the pink into a possible position and potting this straight red to the left-hand centre pocket. That frees up the pink spot somewhat. Yeah, John Higgins has already made more centuries this season than he did in the last season. He's already won more prize money this season than he did last season. And we still have this, a couple more events and the World Championship still to come.
That's right. It feels literally all that's been missing is a trophy. He's played really well at times. We've seen a lot of him. He's gone deep, 5 semi-finals along the way. But it's just that next step, getting to a final, winning it, that has eluded him for 3 years now. The 2021 Players' Championship, his last ranking title.
14.
Of course, this isn't a ranking event here, but it's a hugely prestigious invitation event.
$45.
Oh, this has gone all wrong for John Higgins. I don't think he expected that cue ball to push through those two reds. He's on nothing really now. The red to the right centre is far too risky. Trying to get the cue ball in behind the yellow.
John Higgins, 40.
Speed was good, the line was just a fraction out. But it's a useful start to this third frame for John Higgins. But that lead is certainly not decisive. Very rare you see John Higgins play such a poor safety, but he may have got away with it. Has he left the potting angle here for Mark Williams? Very tight.
Well, ended up cue ball, I guess, okay here, but it's all sort of a little wince from Williams. 45 behind. Higgins looking sharp this evening. Could have cleared up for 2-0, couldn't he? Well, the head's come down again, and that's why. Left a chance here, Higgins with a useful lead already.
One.
John couldn't quite hold the cue ball the right side of the blue.
6.
But I didn't expect the yellow to get in the way of the cue ball there on its way back around the angles. Still has some sort of a shot at this red, but he was looking for something a lot easier than this.
Seven.
couldn't do much with the cue ball there. The shot that John would like to have played was to stun the cue ball around the angles, but the brown was in the way. Can still pot the red that's closest to the right corner, but it's very missable.
John Higgins, 10.
Yeah, it just became sort of harder to continue, didn't it? Got a useful lead. Obviously, the red and the black tied up is a help, but doesn't mean he's not annoyed at missing that. Again, classic Williams, digging out the long red.
It's such a negative thing to suggest this, but I just wonder if rolling in behind the yellow would be a better shot choice than actually taking the pot on here. Well, maybe not now. That's a good pot from Mark Williams. It was very missable.
Three.
Well, he took the chance to open up the black, which he's done.
4.
Question of what he's actually on here. Thin black it is. So that cue ball runs on a little bit. It's some sort of chance, this.
Twelve.
He may be hampered by the green here, but he could be perfectly on this brown to play for the red that's close to the yellow. Yeah, played it well. Steadily getting back into this third frame.
16.
Yeah, there's no rest at that end. It's caught a few players out because, of course, they're used to it being there. Again, he made that look easy, didn't he, that shot? Now, the work continues here, these last two reds. Starts with a good positional shot here.
$21. 22.
Oh, this has been superb from Mark Williams. John Higgins will be becoming more concerned with every pot that Mark Williams knocks in here. He's just got the merest semblance of
29.
an angle on this red, just enough probably to get onto the black.
Wasn't sure. We've seen a few go in off that jaw, but the red stayed out, so you feel he's handed the frame here to Higgins. The clearance was on for sure, had that dropped, but it didn't drop. And John Higgins couldn't really ask for an easier pot. 27 in front, 27 on, but of course the black gets him over the line. He'll be relieved. Of course, he had the chance to clear in the last frame. Didn't take it.
Eight.
Well,
John Higgins.
that will annoy him
8.
because it's 2 snookers now, and Williams is going to come back, so he might just have put himself under it a bit here. It could be another 10 minutes in the frame that they didn't need to be with him missing that yellow.
Thanks. 2.
Oh, he's played a good one there. He can roll this green down the table towards the black, get the cube in behind the blue. I won't be particularly pleased with that. Had the cue ball been tight against the blue, this would be a difficult escape, but I don't think John expects to miss this.
That's why Higgins was wincing, because that's what he thought would happen.
This could be one of those escapes where, from John Higgins' point of view, he'll be trying to pop the cue ball into the green pocket because the green's in the way. You just aim for the pocket and hope that the green does get in the way.
Yeah, how do you like it? Maybe just a bit of the green available. I think the thing for Higgins here, it's not the fact that his opponent needs 2 snookers, it's who his opponent is. You know, it's someone who knows what he's doing in this situation, can make it tough, can get his teeth into a battle like this and often come out on top. It can happen the other way, can't it? It did to Mark in that Masters semi-final a couple of years ago with Neil Robertson. It's all mental energy. It doesn't need to be expending at 25 to 2 in the morning. If he'd have potted the yellow when he had the chance, this wouldn't be happening, would it? Well, the in-off leads to the concession, so Higgins did win the frame after all. And he's back in front in this battle of the multi-world champions, with the winner to meet another one, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Higgins leads 2-1. Between them, all the rest as well. Two bona fide legends here, and it's John Higgins with the edge, 2-1. They all had good groundings in the game, didn't they? Higgins in Scotland, quite a vibrant scene there. Williams very much so in Wales, South Wales. And Ronnie O'Sullivan himself in Essex as well. So they all came from good snooker stock, as it were. All quite different personalities, which, again, is a good thing. But over the years, they've sort of cancelled one another out, haven't they? I mean, to win as many titles as they have done, while the three of them have been at the top with all the other players to contend with as well. Very, very impressive. The double kiss. Now, Mark Williams will be on blacks here, won't he, Dom?
Yeah, what a fabulous opportunity he's been given at the beginning of this frame here. It's interesting, though, because whenever you leave that shot to nothing on from the break-off shot, I think players are loath to attempt it because, of course, if they knock it in, they can't possibly be on the black. Oh, Mark Williams hasn't made as many maximums as John Higgins has. He's made 3, though, in his career. This would be the greatest of all of them, I'm sure, if he could do it.
Yes, I mean, there's a long, long way to go, but if you're looking for someone to hold their nerve, and indeed pot a good final ball, look no further.
$16. 17.
The red directly above the black.
24.
That's just free from the main bunch. Now, if Mark can leave himself a little low on it, he can bring multiple reds into play, because they're not a great pack of reds to go into from the black. You need to be very careful here. Yeah, he went into them and it hasn't worked out, unless there is a red on the top of the main bunch there that pots into this left corner.
32.
Does it go? I'm not sure it does. Oh, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Well, there's a chance of a double, perhaps, but that's all. He could perhaps cut this red and use the pink to give himself some sort of position on the black. No, no, just missed the pot.
And there you see, though, I mean, we know what his mind was on there. That kind of forced him maybe to play in a way he wouldn't normally. He didn't force him, it tempted him. I think if you get a chance, you're going to go for it, aren't you? Because you talk about pot of gold, literally, at the end of the rainbow. The $500,000. Obviously, there's only one tournament with a bigger first prize than that, the World Championship. So we're talking about one frame of snooker that you can earn that much money and put yourself in the record books at the same time. But that's gone now. The gold ball has been removed, and John Higgins will be hoping to get back into the frame and potentially move to within one of victory.
very similar to the black he knocked in the very first frame when he was attempting that maximum break. Couldn't get good position on his next red, but if he can knock this in, I expect him to be nicely on his colour.
Nine. Right. Sixteen. Seventeen.
That's a very good pot from John Higgins, and he has an angle on the black here to play for red into the same pocket.
Twenty-four. 25.
There is a red that will pot into the left corner, but John has an angle here to screw into those reds, but they may not open particularly well for him. No, there just weren't a good little group of reds to go into from the black. He had that little shell for 3 at
32.
the back, and it was always going to cause a problem. But he still has some sort of a chance at a red into the green pocket.
$33.
Good news here for John Higgins is that if he can pot the 5 reds in open play with high value
38.
colours, he won't need that awkward one that's near that left hand side cushion. Big moments here in this match. This is John Higgins' opportunity for a 3-1 lead.
$39.
I must admit, when I found out a couple of days ago that he'd been brought into the tournament, my first
46.
thought was he'll probably win it then. Because it seems to happen in sport. There's been occasions in snooker where Steve Maguire got in that tour championship, didn't he? Because of COVID and Ding couldn't play, he ended up winning that.
47.
We'll see. First things first, try and win this frame and push on and win this match. Williams had maximum, super maximum on his mind.
This was always going to be a key red to get out of the way,
54.
because in potting it, it brings the other 2 to the left of it into play.
55.
But he wasn't straight enough on that red, and he's just flicked another one in front of the other, and I wonder if he's tied them both up. He has. They'll pot into the right centre, but that's about all.
$62.
Yeah, checking the scores, 30 in front. So doesn't need the red on the side cushion.
63.
So Williams, as I say, was trying to stay on the black, but didn't pot the red that he was on to this pocket. And John Higgins needs this red, barring snookers, to lead 3-1.
69.
Typically assured contribution from the Wishaw man.
70.
He'd like this next colour in as well, though, because, of course, we had the playing on for snookers in the last frame. At the moment, it's 1 required, but this black gives him a bit more security. And he can play the double, which I think Mark Williams said he should have done on that maximum attempts.
77.
So 3 snookers required.
John Higgins.
Otherwise, it's 3-1
And the
to
frame.
John Higgins, but Williams not interested in pursuing that. So a good 77 from John Higgins, and he's on the brink of a meeting with another legend, Ronnie O'Sullivan, in the quarterfinals here in Riyadh. He leads Mark Williams 3-1.
Game 5.
Day 1 of the Riyadh
Mark
Season
Williams.
World Masters of Snooker. Technically, I suppose it's day 2 because it's nearly 2 in the morning local time. They start these evening sessions at 10. We saw a thriller earlier, Ali Carter beating Ding Junhui 4-3. And John Higgins is in the position, actually, that Carter was in 3-1 up. Can he get over the line more comfortably? Can Williams get back into it? It's been an entertaining affair, this. Higgins making a very solid 77 in that last frame to get the 2-frame advantage.
I don't think that cue ball's finished behind the brown. I'm certain Mark Williams can see enough of this red to attempt it.
It's one of those, he sort of had to go for it, but he hasn't got it. So Higgins with an immediate chance here. In the frame, he needs to win the match. Yeah, he was determined to try and stay on the black there, but as you can see, it's not worked out. Red in bulk complicates things as well now.
Just expected a fuller cannon off the bottom of the pack of reds there.
Can't play the gold ball
Yeah.
here. That would be a foul if he hit that first.
John Higgins, 1.
And we say goodbye to it.
Deserved applause there for John Higgins. He found a very clever path here for the cue ball. Look, between that black and the red. Tap on the table from his opponent, Mark Williams. So well played. Chance for Mark Williams perhaps to get the cue ball in behind the green if he can here. I don't think he'll take the pot on, it's too risky. But then again, he is 3-1 behind. Does he feel he needs to take the odd risk to try and get back into the match?
Foul.
Well,
Mark Williams.
couldn't have gone worse, could it? The in off and the red stays over the pocket. Couldn't have gone worse for Higgins, I mean.
I don't think Mark should be attempting to play for pink or black here because he could end up on nothing. He's got to allow the cue ball to travel back up the table because he could be on yellow, green, brown or blue that way. Although saying that, maybe the pink will pot into the right centre and he could play for that perhaps.
One. 7. Eight. $15. $60. $22. 23. $29. 30. 36. 37. 43. 44.
Could play for either of the two reds that are occupying the pink spot here, Mark. Built this break very well, using predominantly the pink.
49. 50.
'He's just given himself a little more work to do here. He's
56.
rather straight on this red, and the pink now is placed back on its own spot, so cue ball's going to have to travel a little further now. Lead of 60 points,
57.
so just this pink and one more red required, and what a great positional shot he's played there.
Yeah, it's been a very impressive break, this. It's not been flashy, and that's why it's been impressive. It hasn't had to be. He's just been
63.
in nice position, just going about his business, floating them in as he does. And this red should make it 3-2.
64.
So this is Mark Williams' highest break of the night. Are we going to get another decider?
70. $71.
John Higgins went in off left to red on the lip of the left corner pocket and went back to his seat
74.
thinking, I'm in trouble here, and he was right.
$75.
Earlier in his career, Williams wasn't that bothered about centuries, but over the years he's become more conditioned to try and make them. Made 32 this season, same as he made the whole of last season. It's been a
81.
bit more snooker though, because he's not played in absolutely everything.
$82.
It's funny though, Dave, you go back a few decades when the great Cliff Wilson, one of the Welsh players from yesteryear, was playing. He always used to advise the Welsh players not to make century breaks in matches because he always thought that it just put you off for the next frame ahead because your mind was elsewhere. And I don't know if that's had something to do with Mark very early on in his career, not wanting to make century breaks.
89.
Yeah, and also it didn't used to be talked about as much. We didn't have the sort of the stats and everything really, and measuring players against each other as much as now as things have moved on. Anyway, he still has a chance to make one here. Nice shot again. It's been a nice break this, hasn't it? You know, well controlled.
$97.
So the green is for a century, the 622nd of his career. And just reminding everybody here, this match not done yet. Just needed one chance here, and he took it.
100.
So we've had 5 centuries on the opening day, and a
104.
play and not done yet.
$109. $115.
One-handed on the black. Only Mark Williams. And in it goes. Fantastic. 122 clearance from the great man to reduce his arrears to 3-2.
Okay.
Next priority to try and set up a decider.
John Higgins to go.
So local time, just gone 2:15 in the morning, but these two still looking fresh as daisies. Because they started late. It's not like this match started at 8 o'clock. They knew they were going on late. They could prepare for that, I guess.
Yeah, it always amazes me with tennis players sometimes in some of the Grand Slams. I mean, they could be playing till 1 or 2 in the morning on occasions, and it says ages to wind down. Oh, what a pot that was from Mark Williams. Terrific pot. And he's on the black. Oh, what can we see from Mark Williams this time? Surely he's going to have another go to 147, isn't he? Oh, what a red it was to get in with. He was tight under that bolt cushion.
80. 9.
Again, he's landed
16.
low on the red purposely. He can screw off the corner of the pack of reds or run through them. Oh, he's overcut the red.
Mark Williams.
Mark Williams
16.
left exasperated there because not only has he missed the red, he's gifted John Higgins a wonderful opportunity here to close out this match.
Well, it's out of Mark Williams' hands, and that's the worst position to be in this game, relying on your opponent to make a mistake.
1.
John Higgins had that very early chance in the last frame, just didn't land on the black off the red, didn't get another chance really after that, so this is his first good chance, you'd say, to try and get the match won, or certainly get towards that. Well, it's not gone very far.
8.
No, he just landed too straight on the black and tried to power it in and lost control of the angle of the cue ball that he was trying to create. In fact, the red he's closest to was the red he's trying to get onto into the same pocket as the black. Can he double this red? Oh, there's a good effort. Needs a bit of luck here.
John Higgins.
And he's
8.
had a little bit. But Mark Williams could still drop it into that left centre pocket if he wished to have a go at it.
One.
I wasn't sure whether Mark attempted this same red into the centre pocket previously, but that was still a very good pot that John made there. So he's back in here with another chance.
Five.
John had a close look to see if that black would pop to the left corner. If it does, this is a wonderful chance. Oh, John does
6.
think it pots well. Frame of match could be over in around 5 minutes from now if John remains at the table here.
Well, Williams just has to hope there's a twist in the tail. We've seen a few today, in fairness.
14.
Ali Carter was looking good at 3-1, wasn't he, against Ding, and Mr. Black completely out of nowhere. Got the job done eventually, 4-3. But Higgins has got to seriously fancy this.
21.
A late call-up, remember, to the tournament. Only a few days ago he got the phone call. Didn't hesitate in saying yes. And here he is with his chance to reach the quarterfinals.
Just not entirely happy with the position on the red, so he's playing an alternative.
22.
apart from the yellow, of course, there isn't a ball safe here, so John Higgins would be disappointed if he can't win frame and match from this opportunity. If he's not on one red, you'd think he'd be on another.
$27. $28. $35. $36. $43. $44.
So getting closer, 42 in front. Couple more reds with colours. Can he be, you suspect, over the line? Just getting the red clean by Jan Verhaas, the referee. Just spotted something on it. Doesn't want kicks at this stage.
$50. $51.
Left himself high on the pink to cannon one of the reds out of the way of the others.
$57.
Well, he was shaking his head, but he's still on this red.
$58.
And the blue will leave Mark Williams needing snookers. Formidable trinity they've been for over 3 decades. And as one is about to exit the stage, another enters the fray. Ronnie O'Sullivan is next. For John Higgins, assuming that it is over here.
63.
Remember, he was a late call-up, and you just feel that's that sort of lucky loser tag, or whatever you want to call it, could carry him a long way in this tournament. You're guaranteed,
64.
obviously, having got through the wildcard round, to be playing world-class players. And that focuses the mind. And everyone knows how well he's been playing in general. He's just landing that trophy. That's what he's been looking for. Could it come here in Riyadh?
John Higgins,
He's
64.
into the quarterfinals. It's been a terrific match. He started chasing that super maximum. He got down to the yellow, the closest anyone's got so far on day one.